what we have to understand is, if our operative paradigm is alienism, which is my word for interstellar racism, fear of other species, hatred of ones that you've heard rumors about, the absorption into your psyche of all the fear-mongering and war-mongering that is the stock and trade of the New Age and UFO subculture today, and Gaia TV and things of its ilk. You're never going to be able to do this. And that's why I'm addressing it right off the bat. So put my cards on the table, you can put yours, but this is a prerequisite to becoming an ambassador to the universe, is to be non-prejudicial, have no fear, and to learn to transcend what fear you may have incorporated into your intellect and into yourself through powerful meditation techniques, which we're going to discuss today and demonstrate. Because you can transcend those fears. As Krishna said to Arjuna on the battlefield, a little of this eliminates all fear. And the this he was referring to is pure consciousness, the state of samadhi, that state of transcendent deep awareness. So with that state, you can become a spirit warrior, a Shambhala warrior, where you're not afraid of anything, which is how I'm doing what I'm doing. That's what I connect to. So that kind of spirit warrior state, it's not violent warrior, but this where you transcend fear and threat by being grounded in this transcendent infinite aspect of yourself. That is how you get out of the headspace, the intellect, and the fear. So that's the first. The second component to it is understanding that when we're doing our contact, we're welcoming all civilizations, not this one and that one. So we don't go out and say, we want the ones that look like Nordic ones, the ones that don't look like us, you stay away because I'm a racist. That dog don't hunt, as we say in North Carolina. So, and so we have to figure out, what is the proper attitudinal state to be in to make contact. And it's a very pure-hearted, innocent, accepting, open state, open-hearted state. Now people say, well, what if there are some that are nefarious and scary and harmful? I said, well, those are the ones I want to make contact with first. So let's make a distinction between the dilettantes who want to go out and see a UFO and the people who are sincere about being an ambassador for the purpose of universal peace, not peace on earth and peace in the cosmos, to these civilizations. And this is a very serious and sometimes painful discussion that we need to have, because the purpose of what we're doing with the Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence and the CE5 initiative, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind initiative, is to create a cadre, a core of people who are going to make contact within this philosophical underpinning of universal peace. And if there was a civilization, I don't know that there is, but let's say there were some civilizations that were, if not overtly hostile, didn't much like humans right now, which I think could be excused for doing so. I mean, visit this planet, look through their eyes and look what's going on. I mean, but those civilizations need to have the best of humanity, show the best of the best people, show the face of humanity that's peaceful and that's enlightened and that is looking forward in a progressive way. That's what they're looking for. And so that act in and of itself is very healing. So even if you were to believe what has been put out there in this Manichaean good and bad alien universe of ufology and New Age claptrap, then you would still want to be, if you're a sincere ambassador to the universe, you would want to transcend that whole discussion and say, we're going to connect with and be an ambassador to all civilizations for the purpose of communication, contact, peaceful dialogue and a relationship in the future that is peaceful. So for once, let humans take the high road here, instead of breaking into warring camps of this one versus that one, this sort of duality that we like to break into. Now that's very hard for humans to do, because we have thousands of years of our history of breaking into camps of, Irish Catholic versus Irish Protestant, or Sunni versus Shia, or white versus black, or gay versus straight. By the way, happy Pride. It's Pride weekend in Toronto. Or male versus female, the misogyny. Or this ethnic group versus the Hutus versus the Tutsis, or whatever. We have this ingrained in our cultural experience to such an extent that we will find any triviality to organize ourselves into warring camps and kill each other. And there's thousands of years of kind of behavior that we have to overcome right now. Not only to live together on Earth peacefully and not blow it up, but to go into space peacefully. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the next step. So to get to that next step, you have to get to this understanding of what are the roots. So if you look at how different someone from Japan versus, say, southern Italy may be, or the Congo versus New York City, imagine the diversity that there is out in the cosmos. With millions of orders of magnitude greater. So what's the point of commonality? Being sentient, conscious, awake. Not what you're aware of, but consciousness itself. And this is why the science of consciousness is the main thing we need to master today and understand, and why it is the science of the next millennium. All the other sciences have already been developed in black projects. Free energy, anti-gravity, materialization, dematerialization, interface with consciousness and technology and all that stuff. Those exist in human black projects, covert projects, I know that. So it's all, that's here. The fact it's not being used, but it's here. The big frontier is in the development of higher states of consciousness, the science of consciousness, and understanding that on a deep level. And it is that spark of the light of being sentient, the ability to be awake. It's very simple. People make this way too hard. So you can do a little Zen reduction here, where look, you see the room, you're having your thoughts, you have your body, you're hearing my voice. Take all of that away, and for a moment just shift and be aware of the consciousness, the pure consciousness, the quiet mind that is watching and listening, and all of this is playing on the screen of this sort of blank screen of quiet mind. See, that's all it is. That's what samadhi is. It's the experience of that pure state of consciousness. Now, when you look into the eye of the person, look at the person next to you, just look in their eyes for a moment. I don't have anyone next to me, I'll look at you. See, and he's awake, and I'm awake. We're different people. We have different egos, different bodies, different backgrounds. But the consciousness whereby he's awake and perceiving me, and the consciousness whereby I'm awake and perceiving him, that is a singularity. That is a singularity. And that's been proven in physics. So the total number of minds in the universe is one. And this is Erwin Schrödinger, the father of particle wave theory, modern quantum mechanics, in 1908. And it has been proven that mind stuff, consciousness, is a singularity. And it's the singularity of the light of consciousness which is the foundation of our relationship with these other civilizations. Because their evolutionary path will be mostly different, not totally. Some are first cousins to humans. We can get into that if you wish. But some have no relationship, bioevolutionary. Their fund of knowledge, their life experience, their emotional nature, their IQs. I'm going to show you the picture of Andromedan ambassador from the Andromeda galaxy, 2.5 million light years from here. And when I asked him what his IQ was, and he communicated telepathically and through an electronic system, and I said it's around 450, and he confirmed it was, which means I'm like half of a Down syndrome child. So, and I have a healthy respect for my intellect, but I understand that on the pecking order, you know, I'm a moron. So you have to laugh at yourself, you know, you realize, oh. But with that said, the consciousness that humans have, the light of awareness, the spirit, that is in equal measure within all things. And our ability to experience that state of enlightenment and non-locality of mind, where you experience consciousness as an omnipresent field, that is the second operative requirement. So the first is this philosophy of non-prejudice, accepting all beings, transcending fear. But this other pillar, which is really primary, is the understanding of conscious mind, and how that every single person is awake, and that the awakeness, the essence of awareness within each person, when it's quiet, and when you quiet your mind and yourself and your ego and your emotions and your body down to quiet, and you just experience pure mind, that is universal. So when you look into the eyes of an ET, you're connecting to that level. It's a deeply spiritual, not religious, but deeply. I always say there's an inverse relationship between religiosity and spirituality, usually. Greer's theorem. But, you know, the people who are most pious and make a big show of it are the least spiritual people you'll ever meet. Meanwhile, they're, you know, boffing the choir boy behind the altar. But spirituality, so sorry if I offended any Catholics, but oops, I'll get a call from the Vatican tomorrow. But my point is, you have got to be able to connect to that level of conscious, quiet mind, and from there do these protocols, this technique that we'll be teaching. But you first have to understand it and know that this is nothing weird or foreign, or like you have to lay on a bed of nails for 40 years or something. You're awake now, those of you who haven't fallen asleep yet. And if you're awake, I'll go take a stick and hit you like a Zen master. Boink! No, I won't do it. I've threatened to before at our small trainings, but people on my team are laughing. They go, "Yeah, he will too." But that's not something foreign. That's something that is innate to being a human being, is the ability to be conscious and aware. So if you think about it, every moment of your existence, even in dream time, if you practice lucid dreaming, we're going to talk about this, you can practice being aware of the aware state. And it's amazing how quickly, in 6 months to a year, you can evolve a lifetime once you actually refocus yourself on this.